I'd like to squeeze in one more question. If we could limit the response to 45 seconds to even a minute, we can get this one in. Rosa, you'll be leading off. Rosa Scarcelli, this is the state just committed to spending millions on the purchase of rail lines in Aroostook County in order to preserve them. Was that a smart investment? As governor, would you support similar investments in rail capacity in Maine?
My concern about the investment is we're not looking at the underlying business. The underlying business has to be supported, and it's right now being supported by the paper industry in particular. And again, I mentioned it earlier in my comments. We need to make sure that we're helping them lower their energy costs, making sure that the regulatory environment is stable, and helping them grow. We don't want to lose those lines indefinitely, but we also don't want a Band-Aid. We need to make sure that whatever investment we're making also helps the industry that's going to support those lines ongoing, because we can't be in the business of running a failed rail line.
Steve Rowe.
Absolutely. I support that. I think, again, I'll say we need to, well, that rail line in particular is critical. It's critical to the economy of northern Maine. It's critical to move products north and move them south. The spurs off that support all the communities in northern Maine. So I for sure support that. I support building and improving more rail in Maine, moving the big trucks off the roads onto rail. Over the next 10 years, it's estimated that it's going to cost our state over $6 billion to repair our roads and bridges. Right now, we've only got funding for about half of that if you look at the gasoline tax revenues and the federal subsidies. We've got to think smarter. We have to start doing things differently. And just as we're looking to the past with wind, I think we need to look to the past with rail, because it's cheaper to move things, it's cleaner, and we'll get the big trucks off the road. So I certainly support having more rail in Maine.
Libby Mitchell.
I definitely support the saving of the Aroostook rail line, and it's important to note that there's a requirement of equity from the shippers who are going to be using that line, and there's a commission that's been created to oversee it, to make sure that it's run properly and that the shippers do have access to rail. There's also rail to Lewiston, and there's rail in this bond issue that's proposed to western Maine, because it's almost as if everything old is new again. We once had a lot of rail, and we got away from that. Now we need to go back to the most efficient, energy producing kind of transportation, and I definitely support rail.
Pat McGowan.
It's a key to our future. I started my campaign in Fort Kent. There were many people in the state that said I started at the wrong end of the state. I don't think I did. I think that was the right place to start. Those rails moving goods back and forth, east, west, north, and south, they're doing it at 30% the cost of what it takes to move it by truck. We have the highest carbon footprint per capita in the country, in the state of Maine. My pledge to you is that I will start to work on lowering it as soon as I become governor. We need to change that. Rail is a key to what we're doing. We need to make the rail work and serve business and serve our communities and to provide that low-cost transportation for the future of our state.
I want to thank everyone for turning out tonight. We're out of time. It's very interesting. We got through more questions I thought we would. I appreciate the cooperation time-wise. Excellent job, candidates. Thank you for coming to Bangor, Maine, sharing your thoughts with us. Libby Mitchell, Steve Rowe, Pat McGowan, and Rosa Scarcelli. I really appreciate that. Thank you. And remember that Tuesday, June 8th is primary day, so circle out on the calendar and do the right thing.
Thanks, everyone, for turning out. I want to thank our sponsor again, Eaton Peabody. Remind you that Thursday is the Business Expo, and have a good night. Thank you.